Hey, what's up guys? So today's video I kind of wanted to go over which AD carries I think are good to start off learning AD carry on, and the reasons why I think they're a little bit easier than some of the other champions. So jumping right into it here, the three that I think are going to be the easiest to learn and easiest to learn AD carry on, it's going to be Caitlyn, Jhin, and Miss Fortune. Now, Kaitlyn really isn't very strong right now in the meta, so I kind of am going to leave her out of this a little bit and focus more on Jhin and Miss Fortune, since they are very, very strong right now in the current meta. But I do want to bring up Kaitlyn a little bit here before I move on to Jhin and Miss Fortune. I do think that she is a very easy AD carry to learn, and even now, even though she's not as strong, you can still carry with her and have a large impact on the game. Now, the reason she is very easy to learn AD on is because she does have the longest base auto attack range in the game. So what this means is early on in the lane, you do have an advantage going against almost any other AD carry except for a few outliers that are just very strong early game automatically. But because you have that extra auto attack range on them, you can really punish them when they go for CS, and it makes it a lot easier to push your lane. Having a longer auto attack range is also very good at learning how to position in team fights. It's a lot more forgiving than some shorter auto attack range champions where if you step up too close to auto attack, you're going to get blown up. Having that extra auto attack range lets you sit back a little bit more, and also having your net to get away from melee champions really does help with learning how to position, learning how to manage your cooldowns in fights, and really learning the basics of AD carry and your role in a team fight. Okay, so moving on from Caitlyn, I don't want to talk too much about her because she's not very strong, and I wouldn't recommend starting off on her right now just because she's not a very strong pick compared to others, which is why I want to spend a little bit more time on Jhin and Miss Fortune. Now, Miss Fortune is the second AD carry that I learned how to play after I kind of switched over to AD, and she is a lot of fun to play. The reason that I think she's very easy to pick up and learn if you're new to AD carry is because the main reason that she's strong is her ultimate. So you don't have to have the best mechanics, you don't need to know how to kite precisely, because you can just sit back in fights, wait for them to all kind of funnel, use your E, and then throw your ult down, and you're going to do a lot of damage in any fight. This is really good for new AD players because it teaches you to sit back more. Your main damage isn't coming from your auto attacks, so you're able to position further back, wait for the team fight to develop, and then use your ultimate when you see an opportunity. This is really good at teaching patience to an AD player, which I think is very important, which I'm still kind of learning to myself and trying to master. But being patient and knowing when to step up to fight and knowing when to back off a little bit and wait for some cooldowns to go away is a big part of learning how to AD carry, and I think you can really learn that by playing Miss Fortune. She also has a very strong early game, which right now is very big in the meta. Games aren't going very long, so you can really dominate your lane, and you can get an advantage to where you can really pop off and really have a very impactful team fight with your ultimate. Now, the other champion that I do recommend for new AD players is going to be Jhin. Kind of similar reasons to why I recommend Miss Fortune. He's not mechanically intense like a lot of AD champions are. You don't really need to know how to kite very well since you only have your 4 shots. Yes, it is a bonus if you can kite. It's always a good thing to be kiting whenever you're auto attacking on any champion, but it's not as important on Jhin as it is with some of the other AD champions. Now, with Jhin, another reason why he's very good to learn AD on is because he does bring a lot of utility in his kit. With his W, you can really help pick off champions and catch them out, especially at lower levels. That's something that's going to happen very often. And then also you can initiate fights with your ult. If you do see somebody out of position, you can start the fight off by using your ultimate and then letting your team chase them down from there. In team fights, Jhin plays a little differently than most AD carry champions, and I think that's beneficial for new AD players. The reason that he plays a little differently is because you do only have 4 shots at a time, with your 4th shot being that execute crit, which is good for new AD players because you don't need to worry as much about the mechanics of a fight as you worry about staying alive. And having those 4 shots allows you to have that time while you're reloading to think a little bit more about your positioning and move around the fight more, reposition to where you can do damage safely, which is beneficial for new AD players because you do get that split second to think about the fight and reposition, which you don't get that opportunity on a lot of other AD champions, which in turn causes you to think about the fights more, causing you to think about your positioning more, which is just going to make you a better AD player in the long run when you do try and pick up some more traditional AD champions. And I almost forgot to mention on Jhin, he also has a very strong laning phase, which I think is crucial for a new AD player, because if you're getting stomped in lane every time because you have an endgame champion, you're not going to have a lot of fun learning AD carry. So Jhin, another good early game champion that you can push the lane easily and get that advantage on. So that about wraps up everything that I have for you today. If Kaitlyn ever does become strong again with some changes, I definitely recommend picking her up if you're a new AD player. That extra auto attack range is very, very beneficial for learning how to play AD carry. But for now, Jhin and Miss Fortune are going to be really strong picks to learn how to play AD on. If you have made it this far in the video, I really do appreciate you sticking around. Please go ahead and subscribe. It does mean a lot to me. Also, if you want some coaching, I do want to do some coaching for some lower level AD carry players that are learning the role. If you're interested, let me know in the comments and I'll go ahead and check out some videos. Thank you guys for watching and good luck with your rank games.